Hi, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are making Trader Joe's cheese pants, toddler pants out of 4 Trader Joe's bags. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. I'm a wife, mom, middle school teacher by day, and a sewing content creator on nights and weekends. For this tutorial, you will need 4 Trader Joe's bags. I am using their cheese bag, which is 100% cotton. So I'm going to use 4 of these to get the toddler pants of my dreams.
Now, obviously, if your toddler or infant is smaller than my daughter, she's wearing a 4T currently as a 20-month-old. But if your toddler is smaller, then you could probably get away with less bags. But I needed to use 4 bags, which I seam ripped the entire top and the side seams to open up these bags to get enough length for the entire pattern piece. I watched a cute little movie on Netflix while I was doing this and finished pretty quickly, so the seam ripping did not take that long. So excited to sew these pants up that I forgot to show the final pattern pieces of the 4 pant legs cut out with the pockets cut out, but as you'll see as I'm sewing it up, you'll be able to see all the pattern pieces. But you can see here that it fits the entire length of the bag, which is why I had to open up these bags. Unfortunately, that meant the design on the bottom was upside down, but that's fine.
Sewing up all the little darts. This pattern has 6 little darts, 2 darts each on each back leg, so that's 4 total, and then a dart each on each front leg, so that's 2 more, so 6 total. But they're very, very tiny, and they sew up really fast. So when you're finished, you should have your 2 back legs. Again, we have a dart right here and a dart down below. Same thing, opposite side, a dart down here and a dart on this side. And then we have a dart right here on the front pant and a dart right here on the other front pant. So 6 darts total. Now I'm gonna sew up the side seams of the pants. I know the directions of these pants are different, but I made my own bias binding out of the bag handles, and I wanna make these like track pants type-esque with these panels going down the side. So I'm gonna add them to the side using a hack that I've seen on another Instagram video. So I'm gonna go ahead and tackle that now.
Truly, when it rains, it pours. While I was filming this tutorial, my phone screen shattered and my camera mount that I usually use broke in half, which caused my phone to drop. And so you can see when I'm filming myself at the beginning of the tutorial, the camera looks kind of fuzzy. It's because a crack was literally right through the camera. So back to the pants though. I took this bias binding tape, folded it in half, and then folded it in half again to make these 2 design details.
So here's the final product. I just took the straps, ironed them into bias binding, and then stitched them on top. So I'm going to repeat the process for the other leg to give it that athletic, athleisure or look. Right, next I'm going to make the back pockets. I still have more straps, so I'm going to create bias binding around the entire pocket, and then I'm going to stitch it onto the pants.
I didn't do anything fancy for this step. I just measured the width and the height of each pocket square to then attach the bias binding. I wouldn't say I rushed through this process because I did add a lot of design detail that's not included on this pattern. However, I was in a time crunch to get everything done before our trip to Australia. So could I have made these pocket squares a lot neater? Probably, but I didn't have time for that. So you'll see I just overlapped the bias binding on top of each other at each corners. One day I'll do fancy mitered cornered edges on the bias binding. However, this was just not the time or place for that with these pants. And the thing is, my daughter's not even gonna notice. No one is gonna be staring at her butt. I hope not. That'd be creepy. But these are pants that she's gonna grow out of relatively quick. Obviously, I will definitely hold on to them again if we are blessed to have another child so that they could get a wear out of these cool pants. But the goal here was to sew these up quickly so that she could wear them on our trip to Australia. So there are way fancier tutorials to get prettier results, but I just did what I needed to do to get these done. Plus, because the print of the bag was so busy, I really wanted to make these pop against the print, and I purposely cut out squares that had little sayings on them because these bags have such funny sayings. My favorite is "Life is Gouda." And as you can see, this pocket square has the saying, "You cheddar believe it." The kind of big cheese energy I hope she takes with her through life. So you're just going to repeat that process to all 4 sides, and when you're finished, it should look something like this. Again, you could probably do it prettier with the mitered corners, but I didn't have time for that. The next step is attaching the pocket square to the back pant, and so I had made marks, but it's hard to see with the black font of the fabric. So there, I had little dots there, and so that's where I'm pinning, and then you are going to sew 3 sides onto the back pant leg, so the 2 sides in the bottom, leaving the top open so that it's a functional pocket. By adding the bias binding, I actually increased the size of the pocket. So if I was to redo this pattern again, I would probably cut out the pattern piece for the pocket in a smaller size. So that way when I add the bias binding, it ends up being the right size for the pocket. I think when it was all said and done, the pocket size was meant for like a 6T versus a 4T. So you'll see when she wears these pants at the end of the video, the pockets do look a little big for the pattern, but I think that's just because I added the bias binding and did not account for that. When we walked through the store, everyone noticed her pants, not just the employees, but customers too, who are obsessed with Trader Joe's bags. I don't know what it is, but Trader Joe's definitely has a chokehold on the tote bag industry right now, and they constantly sell out of tote bags and freezer bags and all the bags, and so it's very interesting to see this play out. Like our store that we live close to locally, they have lines around the block where people are lining up at 3 a.m. to get tote bags, the mini tote bags. I think they're so cute, but I'm not that committed to have the tote bags if it costs me sleep. Will be honest though, I was bummed when I missed out on the lilac tote bag, and my TAs bought it for me for Teacher Appreciation Week. So that was a very sweet gift. And I did happen upon the store one time to get mini tote bags. So you'll see my daughter carrying a mini yellow tote bag. I just happened to walk into the store when they had them in stock. So I got lucky with those. All right, the next step is to connect our pant inseams. So we're going to take our back and our front inseam and connect them, clip them together, and sew at our seam allowance to sew them up. It was at this point in filming the tutorial that my phone was literally hanging on by a thread because of the damage to it. So I did not film hemming the pants, which all I did was roll up the pant leg twice at 3/8 of an inch. Just because I knew that these pants were long enough for my daughter. So I did a double roll down at the bottom, and then I did not show myself sewing the waistband or clean finishing off these seams. So you miss me doing the serging, you miss me folding over the waistband. I folded it down an inch and then I inserted the elastic. And so for this step, you'll see me, now I'm going to connect the 2 legs together. So right sides together, you turn one leg inside out and the other leg stays facing right side up. And then you connect the crotch seams together in order to sew the pants together. So this is the part where after this step, my phone just completely went on the fritz. But I used an inch waistband and I folded down the waistband 1.25 inches. And then I inserted it. So you just see me sewing up, you miss me sewing up the final 2 steps, which is the waistband and hemming the pants. But those are fairly easy steps. And then you have your pants to wear to the store to go shopping. And also they're just so fun and colorful that literally you could style them anyway. We were doing laundry for our trip to Australia. So I really wanted to style my daughter in this really cute black top she has to make the black fonts pop, but we had to go with what was clean in her closet. So I hope you enjoy the final look. We are about to finish the seam. I was also making a ton of mistakes while sewing this up. Like I should have serged the pants inseams before I even attached the crotch, but I was so excited to sew these up, and I truly was really worried about my phone. I was trying to rush through this process of filming so that hopefully my phone would last, and I needed to share them to my computer very quickly. So I'm happy to report that my phone made it, and now I'm a proud owner of an iPhone 17. I went from a 13 to a 17 overnight, which, although expensive, is definitely a blessing in disguise because that means we can have amazing camera quality for our trip to Australia. So you have to look at the bright side. But here we are finishing up the last seam. Again, make sure you clean finish it. I did clean finish it after this, but then my camera just went on the fritz. Little insider trick, I definitely film my intros and my outros at the same time. So that's why you're going to be like, wait, what? There's still a video after this. But no, that's the magic of filming. I do it all at the same time. So now you know my secrets. If you do end up making a version of a Trader Joe's bag pants, any of their bags, please tag me and let me know. I'd love to see your creation and your take on their cute little bags.
Here's the finished product in all their glory. I love them so much. Again, here's that detailing side stripe with using the straps. I also used the straps to do a detailing around the pocket so that the pockets would really pop against the print. As you can tell, the cheese bags had two different prints on one side of the bag, and so I wanted to showcase the front the best I could on the front of the bag, and then the back I turned it around upside down. I tried to pattern match as best I could on the back, but it didn't go as well on the front or on the back as it did on the front. But because I turned the bag upside down for the back, this means that the writing on the back is upside down. So just happened to be that way, but I love how they turned out. They're so cute. The little photo shoot at Trader Joe's melted my heart. So this was a fun project. I know Trader Joe's said that they are not bringing these bags back. So I was lucky to snag the 4 bags when I did. Originally, I bought 2 at my store before they sold out. And then I quickly realized that my daughter is so tall, like this is the whole pant leg, that she wasn't gonna be able to fit just 2 bags. I needed to go back and buy 2 more. And luckily the store by my work had 2 more. So that's how I was able to use 4 Trader bags total to get these awesome cheese pants. I did make them a size larger than she is now so that she can wear them into our fall and winter as well as our trip for Australia. So these are the cheese bag. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It was pretty quick, but honestly, I just followed the penny pants pattern, and using the 4 bags, I just chopped them up and made it work. So fun, unique toddler pants are all the rage right now, and I love these. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.